Imagine a 22-year-old officer making a mistake so catastrophic it sets the entire world on fire. This isn't just a tale of heroes. It's a story of how a nervous mistake in a forest redrew the global map. A single gunshot sparked a butterfly effect that led to the birth of a nation and the collapse of a monarchy. Commonly, the American Revolution is seen as a noble quest for liberty against British tyranny. But the truth is far messier, driven by money, ambition, and a series of incredible accidents. History is rarely a straight line. It's a web of unintended consequences. In this story, the winner faced total social collapse, while the loser rose to rule the world. How did a forest blunder lead to this? Let's travel back to the mid-18th century. In the 1750s, North America was a chessboard for two superpowers, Britain and France. Britain focused on settlements. France focused on the fur trade and blocking British expansion. Tensions boiled over in the Ohio Valley, a strategic gateway that both empires craved. In May 1754, a 22-year-old colonial officer named George Washington stepped onto the stage of history. Back then, he wasn't a stoic father of his country, but a young man desperate for British elite status. He volunteered for a dangerous mission to find French forces hidden in the deep woods. In the fog of early morning, he encountered a French detachment and panicked, ordering his men to fire. One of the dead was Joseph Coulon de Jumonville, a French diplomat on a peaceful mission. Trapped by French reinforcements, Washington was forced to sign a surrender document he couldn't even read. The document, written in French, contained a confession. He had assassinated a diplomat. This confession reached Europe, outraging King Louis XV and triggering a massive global conflict. One bullet in the American wilderness had set the world on fire, the 7 Years' War. Britain's strategy was simple but expensive. Show me the money. Unlike France, Britain had the Bank of England, allowing them to borrow massive sums at low interest. They overwhelmed France with sheer economic force, winning the war by 1763. But victory left Britain with a staggering debt of £140 million, enough to break the empire. Their solution? Tax the American colonists who had been protected during the war. The Stamp Act of 1765 taxed everything from newspapers to playing cards, outraging the colonial elite. These educated elites were fueled by Enlightenment ideas that power comes from the people, not God. Then came the Boston Tea Party, but it wasn't because tea was too expensive. Britain actually lowered tea prices to save the East India Company, which threatened local merchants' livelihoods. To the colonists, it was a bribe to give up their autonomy. They chose freedom over cheap tea. By 1775, the first shots were fired at Lexington. A full-scale war for independence had begun. Washington, now the commander, knew his ragtag army couldn't beat the British in a direct fight. His plan was simply to survive, dragging the war out until Britain ran out of patience and money. The turning point came when France joined the fray, seeking revenge for their earlier defeat. King Louis XVI spent his nation's fortune to help America, a move that would eventually cost him his life. In 1781, at Yorktown, the British surrendered. The United States was born. France celebrated the victory, but the debt they incurred triggered the bloody French Revolution. The king who saved American democracy was sent to the guillotine by his own people. Meanwhile, the defeated British realized a shocking truth. They didn't need to rule the Americans to profit from them. Without the cost of governing the colonies, Britain focused on global trade, becoming an unstoppable superpower. Washington's early blunder created a world he never could have imagined. History shows that our biggest failures and smallest accidents can change the course of the world. So don't despair over today's losses. You never know what history is planning for tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more deep dives into the ironies of history.